Please welcome Illinois United States Senator Dick Durbin.
Every politician in Illinois says a little prayer that they never have to follow Danny K. Davis. My prayer is usually answered, but not this morning. It's an honor to be here and to welcome President Biden back to Chicago. But it's not a new trip for him. He's been here many times. He knows Chicago is a city that has a can-do attitude, full of hardworking people and families, and today with his leadership, Chicago and Illinois are definitely moving ahead. We're renovating and expanding terminals at O'Hare, replacing 100-year-old bridges along the Metro route, rebuilding locks and dams along the Mississippi and Illinois rivers so that Illinois farmers and businesses can compete. And this last Monday, I was with Governor Pritzker and the members of the Illinois Congressional Delegation at Union Station. We launched a new 100-mile-an-hour plus Amtrak train connecting Chicago and St. Louis. I know one Amtrak fan from Wilmington, Delaware, who would have joined our cheering section. Under President Joe Biden, we're laying the foundation for strong, sustainable economic growth. I said to the president when he got off his helicopter that I went to school many years ago and took an economics course, studied economics, macroeconomics, microeconomics. Now I'm being introduced to Bidenomics, and I like what I see. I like what it means for America. Under President Biden, we're building a strong foundation for long-term economic growth for generations to come. Middle-class families get a fair shake, and families who've been left behind get their chance to join the middle class. That's the American formula that built the strongest economy and the largest middle class the world has ever seen. For more than 40 years, though, we've heard one other point of view. The wealthiest in our country have been pushing a different approach and a mythical economic theory. They said if we just cut taxes for billionaires and big corporations, everybody's going to do just fine. But here's the truth. This top-down, trickle-down disaster of economics exploded the national debt, shuttered American factories, hollowed out our communities, and left too many families and small businesses barely hanging on. Now, after 40 years of failure, the far right wants to double down again with financial flim-flam. We're not going to stand for it. They want to slash funding for Social Security, Medicare, education, training, our police, border security, child care. The list goes on and on. They even want to cut medical research. Explain that to veterans suffering from exposure to burn pits and families struggling with cancer and other devastating diseases. There's a better way to grow the American economy. Under this president, America is investing in the middle class. And here is a fact I want you to remember, if you remember nothing else. America, among leading economies in the world, has had the highest economic growth rate since the pandemic and the lowest current inflation in the world under President Biden. With a record-breaking 13 million new jobs created under this president, including more than 440,000 in Illinois, factories are reopening, middle-class wages are going up. And Illinois thanks the president as well for a $1 billion-plus investment that he announced last week to extend reliable broadband to every corner of our state. What Franklin Roosevelt brought to America with electricity, this president is bringing with affordable, quality broadband for businesses, families, and students. Under this president, 343,000 Illinoisans now have coverage under the Affordable Care Act. Nearly 1 million are covered under the ACA Medicaid expansion, and everyone is protected from predatory loopholes by insurance companies. Under this president, America is investing in training and education, and we're protecting workers' rights to organize and join unions. This president really means it when he says he's a union president. We need to export American products, not American jobs. That's why the president pushed the CHIPS program, which means that we're going to get back in the business of making semiconductor chips, which change the future. We're interested in clean energy technology. I want to tell you a story about where I was yesterday. I was traveling all over the state, and I was downstate about 150 miles from Chicago, in Lee County, where they're replacing the original wind turbines built in 2007 with newer, more efficient American-made assemblies. It's an all-union, multi-million-dollar project. The manager told me it would not have happened without the Inflation Reduction Act, the new law the Democrats passed in Congress and the President signed. That is just the beginning. We expect 300,000 Illinois families to install solar panels because of that same law. A greener America with reduced energy costs for working families. I'm going to close on a personal note. I've been honored to join the President in bringing more than 130 new federal judges to America's judiciary. He made this commitment, and the Senate Judiciary Committee heard the call, and we, as I said, have approved more than 130 judges, and we're not done yet. We want women and men who will bring balance to our courts and reflect the true diversity of our nation. President Biden, I thank you for your friendship, your leadership, your vision for America, but most of all, I thank this president because he brought respect back to the White House. Thank you so much.